But I think, it's a privilege to have a piece of art that speaks to this very robust moment that we're all experiencing. And it's also wonderful to have a story that, even a year ago would have been just, a historical drama where you would have to really try to draw people into this time and how people felt at this point. And we're all feeling exactly what they were feeling then. So it's not hard to really let yourself sink inside the narrative.
I look at Selma as an extension of, or a branch on what the people of what Dr. King and the SCLC and the everyday people, as you said, of all nationalities, they came and stood up and prayed and believed and marched. Selma is like it's an extension of that. Like it's being brought into this moment right now so that some 13-year-olds can be aware. Some kids that don't even really know who Dr. Martin Luther King is. And, now through film and through something that is relevant to their lives because they see it going on right now, they can, they're standing up for Ferguson in certain ways. You see young people standing up.
There is something to take from this film which is incredibly inspiring, that it's been done before, that it can have a positive outcome, that policy can be changed when people come together as a collective and have a real sense of purpose. And I just think it's incredibly timely, and I absolutely think it becomes this perfect convergence of art and life with this film is beautifully timely.
Just knowing how to speak to actors, to get the best out of actors. And as you can see, I mean, this whole cast, I brought their A game, and they worked. They definitely worked. It's all to this lady.
Love to have the opportunity to play him. But so, how did you work with him? How did he? Where is he? We didn't get it.
He's in London.
Okay.
Yeah, he's in London with doing London Press BAFTA, and he's with his family there. Sharon, she's like, where is he? Why didn't he here? Why didn't he come back? Yes. No, I mean he's an actor that's deeply rooted. He felt a calling to play this part, so much so that when the project went dormant, he put it together himself. He resurrected this project. It was dead. And so his, determination to play this role, to keep it alive when producers said, let's put it aside for now, to bring in Oprah Winfrey. Not easy to bring in Oprah Winfrey, to advocate for a filmmaker that he had worked with before who had only made a $200,000 film, to actually convince producers, Academy Award-winning producers, to let her, a woman, a black woman, handle a $20 million picture. That's an actor who, is designing his own destiny, and who really, with all of the weight and the determination to put the film together, then stepped into that moment in a way that is so deeply layered, was so soulful. I mean, we watched the transformation.
Like once he got it, he didn't want to.
Yeah, he didn't want to break that space because the voice and the physicality is so specific. So he committed, and that's a major commitment to wake up as king every day.
Yeah. I mean, I can remember one moment where I was like, I already knew David as an actor, was a great actor, but we were this is like right when we were rehearsing, and we went to the King Center just to get the vibe, and pointed her finger and said, "Who are you playing?" And Tessa Thompson said, "I'm playing Diane Nash." She said, "Okay." And she looked at me and said, "Who are you playing?" I said, "David." Said, "Who are you playing?" And he said, "I'm playing your father." And she said, "Why do you think you could play my father?" And then he said, "I lived my whole life to play your father." And he said it humbly, but it was strength in it. And when he said that, she said, "Yeah, you could play my father." And from that moment, it was like, I just knew he was Dr. King,
Who wants to see that movie? Who wants to see the movie where he's, who wants to see the movie which is just all that most people know about him? He had a dream. He believed in peace. And he died. That's really, when you really ask most people, because I've been working on this for a couple years, very name, use more than a holiday, a speech, a sale, a day you get off of work. You know what I mean? The name of your friend's school in the black neighborhood, whatever he's become. You know, it's certainly not the radical. It's certainly not the radical, the intellectual, the charismatic. You know what I mean? The dynamic man who was a man of faith, who was sometimes unfaithful, who had an ego, who was guilty. 3 people died on his watch during this campaign. Who was a savvy tactician, who was a strategist, who was a prankster, who loved his friends, who loved his woman, even though, you know, sometimes he had failings. I mean, I'm probably describing most people in this room. You know, we are a set of walking contradictions. And I certainly didn't have any interest in, you know, in deifying him. I didn't have any interest in overcorrecting that and doing a takedown, which is what some filmmakers had been interested in at one point. I think it was interesting enough to tell as close to the truth as we could tell. And during those 3 months, from January to March 1965, a tape did arrive. During those 6 months, Malcolm X did arrive. During those 3 months, he was thinking about giving up. During those 3 months, everything you saw happened. During those 3 months, there was no point and there was no need to manufacture the drama because it was really happening. And I understand what that is, but ultimately, you know, we have to tell the truth, and the truth is sometimes messy and imperfect, and that's much more interesting than to lock him in a marble statue and to let him be defined by a catchphrase. Good. He tried to get, you know, the speech patterns. He liked to speak in triplet. He did a lot of tricks that he used over and over. My real thing was to break it down by sound, but also if I could get the intention. He was a big ideas guy. If I can get that, like that vicious lie thing at the end, the idea that powerful white men indoctrinate poor white men with racism in order to take their eye off the ball in terms of what's really happening to them and make them concentrate on what's happening with these. I mean, that's a bold, brilliant, interesting, flawed, you know, dynamic idea. And if I could just get that across and untether myself from the words and get his ideas across, I felt like, you know, it was fair. It was fair to try and get the film made. So that was how
you knew it?
I mean, that's, you know what I mean? That's what had been the holdup, you know, whether it was a license or whether it was the estate really wanting to have say in what the narrative was before they gave it. A lot of the reasons, it's not the primary one, but it's a big reason as to why we are sitting here right now in 2014. You know, this happened in 1965. If you were wondering who Edmund Pettus is, he is the name of the Grand Dragon of the KKK at the time of the bridge was built. And it's still named after him to this day. And so yes, we, you know, blood was shed on that bridge, bodies were broken on that bridge, spirits were broken and rose again on that bridge. There was something very energetic happening there for the actors that were in the scene. It was an incredible moment for me. My father's from Lowndes County, Alabama. We shot the whole film in 32 days. We had 2 days to shoot that assault scene on the bridge. It was intense. It was, you know, everything was at stake. We were trying to get the day, and it was just an honor to be there.